Well, let's discuss this more with Israeli-Russian journalist Nick Kolyokin. Nick, good to see you. How will this visit have gone down largely in Israel, in the contrast, in the context, I should say, of what happened during the Second World War? And those memories will still be very alive in many families of your nation.
Yeah, that's right. I think Gideon Saar, the foreign minister of Israel, is not representing most of the Israelis, and I don't think he has a political future. Actually, what he did during his visit to Ukraine now is putting in danger Israel as a country, Israelis and Jews all over the world. Why? Because he is helping Ukraine to whitewash the history. He is not ashamed at all to forget and to say nothing about Bandera, Shuhevich, Petlura, about the glorification of those Nazi collaborators. He doesn't care what I told him, that the avenue of Stefan Bandera in the center of Kiev is directing to the Babin Yar, the place where so many people were murdered, and by collaborators, Ukrainian collaborators with Nazis, not just Germans. And also he's endangering Israel because he's choosing the side of Ukraine in the war with Russia. And this is not a smart move. Russia much stronger than Israel, and Israel has enough of their problems. And this phony excuse that they have a strategic talk about Iran, this is really phony, because Iranian embassy still still working in Kiev, and the same the Ukrainian embassy in Tehran in Iran. And Iran has a relationship with Ukraine going back for many years. During those years, Iran wanted to destroy Israel, and Ukraine didn't care. In the same logic, Israel and Russia can have the same dialogue about Turkey, because Turkey providing the same drones to Ukraine, Bayraktar. They even building a factory, a huge one in Kiev. And Turkey wants to destroy Israel like Iran in the same way. So I think Gideon Saar should be ashamed, because he's putting in danger Israel and Jews.
And this is the thing, it's not being hidden, is it, on the streets of Ukraine either? We've just been looking at pictures, Nick, while you've been talking there, of what recently has been seen, those marches in support of Bandera's legacy and many others as well. Israel, its leadership must be aware of this by now, and if not, then that's telling as well that they don't care enough to look into it.
Yeah, that's right. I told personally to Gideon Saar a few months ago in an international briefing with journalists, if he is willing to condemn Ukraine over the glorification of Nazi collaborators that became heroes in Ukraine, and also about Ukraine destroying now also the tombs and the memory sites, the monuments of the Red Army. And we Israelis, Jews, we know that the Red Army rescued the Jewish people from annihilation when the Europeans with the Germans and some of the Ukrainian collaborators tried to destroy the Jewish people. And Gideon Saar says nothing about that, and also Israel. And this is unbelievable. Many Israelis disagree with that. Many Israelis are Russian-speaking. About 2 million of the 7 and something million Jews in Israel are Russian-speaking. It is almost every third Jew in Israel. And many of them, they don't agree with Gideon Saar, and also with Israel, with the government that showing more support to Ukraine instead of staying neutral, because this is the smartest thing to do for Israel, to be neutral in this geopolitical game between China, Russia, and the United States. And Israel should remember that the first country that helped Israel in the War of Independence was Russia, USSR, Stalin in the 48, and also for during almost 20 years when the United States put an embargo. They were neutral about Israel. They didn't help to Israel, and they put embargoes after that also. So Israel should be smart, and Gideon Saar is not so smart as I can see.
Yeah, I would also point out as well, Nick, that, you know, many countries have to overcome some historical grievances to get ahead in current relations. But this is the very essence of the creation of Israel, the 6 million Jews brutally murdered during the Second World War. This is how the country was created. And now we have the current Ukrainian leadership, which made the Azov battalion, as you mentioned, part of their National Guard. You know, maintaining strong relations with Israel as this is unfolding, you know, this is something totally separate, isn't it, from normal relations, and yet it's being ignored.
That's right. In Israel, there is a law. It is a felony to deny Holocaust. And people, even in Israel, some with the Ukrainian background, they are glorifying Bandera as well in Israel, but nobody is sitting in jail for 5 years, as the law is suggesting. And I think Israel needs to implement and to force this law, because if Israel and Jews forgetting their past because they are thinking politically about today, the diplomacy of today, but they can't think about tomorrow. They can't think about what will be the consequences of them forgetting who supported the Jewish people in their hardest times, who was the army that saved their lives. If now they are forgetting that, unfortunately, the history can remind itself in the future. And the politicians are coming, are going, but the Jewish state and Jews should stay in this world, and they should stay safe. And we see that there's almost no place now which is safe for Jewish people. And it is very surprising that I'm feeling safer in Russia to be a Jew or an Israeli than almost anywhere else in the world, including Israel, which is constantly bombarded for so many years.
Live from St. Petersburg, Israeli Russian journalist giving us the context and the story, Nick Kolyokin. Thank you very much.
Thank you.